Hi everyone, I'm your host Mary Vin Rose, and you're watching Healthy Living in the Bronx. Today I have a very special guest joining me in the studio, Fiona Harvey. She is an educator of health as well as a certified fitness instructor. Today we're going to learn all about Fiona's journey through fitness as well as what is this thing called self-love. Hi Fiona.
Hey Mary, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. So, I have been following you on social media for a little bit now. I love the work that you do. I love that you promote women of color in fitness and you talk a lot about self-love. So what exactly are you a fitness instructor for?
So I teach a course called TrapAerobics, and it's exactly what it sounds like, trap and aerobics. So in the class, we combine high-low aerobics, even lean with it, rock with it, different types of dance moves, we dab, and also to the latest trap music.
So what exactly is trap aerobics? Like when I think of Zumba, I just think of just dancing and it's just a good time. So is it similar to that in a way?
In a way where it's feel-good music, but with trap aerobics, it really looks at mental health and also allowing everyone who comes to our class to de-stress. And all the moves are repeated. So if you don't get it the first time, you get it the second time. It's all about letting go of the negativity, letting go of any fears you have, and having fun to the music.
So one thing I notice when I go to like normal fitness classes, like it's usually like if I go to a boot camp, they're like focusing just on the abs or just focusing on the glutes. Would you say this is an overall like body workout experience?
Yes, it's a total full body workout. We're engaging your biceps all the way down to your calves, and it's a mix of movement. So it's not just squats or lunges, but it's also dance infused. So it mixes that high-low aerobics with some dance choreography and the latest things that we do.
So out of all the music to choose from, why trap? Like obviously it's trending, it's hot, everyone's talking about it, but why trap?
Well, with trap music, when you hear it, it just brings this energy to you. You feel really empowered for some people, but just ready to get the day going. And so when you think about a workout class, you want to feel motivated. You want to feel encouraged. And with trap music, with the beats, we call everything out. We really engage our students. And so the trap music allows us to really tap into another persona. My name in the class, we have our rapper name. My name is Fee Stacks.
Fee Stacks?
Yeah.
I need a rapper name.
Yeah, we'll come up with one by the end of the episode, hopefully.
So do you have a partner who does this with you?
I do. Her name is Siobhan Hodges. We've actually been childhood friends. And Siobhan came up with the idea for Grills and Granola.
Grills, so the company is called Grills and
Granola.
Granola.
Right.
Okay, interesting name.
So it involves that hip-hop culture with the grills, but also granola, where we focus on healthy living, combining that. We're literally doing it for the culture.
So I know that fitness is something that's very much part of your life, but how did you even become a fitness instructor?
Growing up, I did all different types of dance, ballet, tap, jazz, hip hop, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, something I look forward to. And as I got older, I would attend the gym with some friends and my sister, and I decided to become Zumba certified. And that's where Siobhan, she told me about her idea. She's a group fitness instructor, and we just got together, literally practicing in her grandmother's backyard, finding studios in Manhattan to combine all that we've learned through dance, through aerobics, through the calisthenics, even things that we do in the gym to make it into this fitness infused workout.
So you guys like designed this program from beginning to end. It's not like you're working with someone else's formula. This is something you've created.
Definitely.
So I'm not gonna lie. When I listen to trap music, I definitely get into another persona. I'm just like, yes, I can do
Yeah.
this. So what is a favorite trap artist that you might have?
So I have a few. I really like OT Genesis.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw, but with Coachella, Beyonce did it to a song to him. He has a great flow. And even in class, his music, it allows us to engage our different types of muscles. Where he says push it, and we're pushing and we're working our quads. It's just so energetic.
So I think sometimes trap music gets a bad rap. A lot of people say that it can sound a little bit violent or it doesn't sound like music that would actually be positive and motivating. But do you see it as something that can be used to help promote self-love?
Yes, definitely. What Siobhan and I always say, it's the music of the underdog. No matter what community you've come from, no matter your narrative, your hardships, you're going after your dreams, whether it's through music and creativity. Some of the songs, we always say, we don't promote some of the activity that the songs say,
Okay.
but our class is really a release for people because, yes, we're focusing on physical health, but in our class, we also focus on mental health.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is self-love to you?
Scale of 1 to 10, I would say it's an 11. Self-love is so important because in order for us to be there for other people, we have to be there for ourselves and really nurture who we are and check in.
So I feel like the word self-love and self-care are two terms that I see a lot on social media, just a lot in general actually nowadays. What is the difference between the two for you?
The difference between self-love and self-care, obviously they both focus on the self, but with that self-love, you're thinking about who am I and have I really nurtured my spirit? Have I made time for me to really care about myself and appreciate myself at the root? When am I feeling my best? What am I doing? Who am I surrounded with? When do I truly feel at peace? For me, that's what self-love is. Really understanding those moments where you are pleased with yourself, but also where you may have hardships and being gentle with yourself through
That's
that time.
key, like being gentle with yourself. That's something
Yes.
that I had to come to terms with. So how is that different from self-care?
Self-care, there are different components of it. You have the mental, you have the physical, emotional, and it's doing different tasks. And I always say that self-care, there isn't a one-size-fits-all. So what may work for you may not work for somebody else. But with self-care, you're checking in each day. What did I do for myself? How did I pamper myself? How did I make sure that I received everything that I need? It could be something as simple as listening to your favorite playlist that
Right.
brings back fond memories. Sometimes, especially this day and age, we have elaborate ideas of self-care. Not everybody can afford a huge spa day, but you can unwind at home with some light music, a shower, watching sports, removing yourself from those tasks and making sure that you are nurtured.
Got it. So if I can share a quick story,
Sure.
I learned that just because you partake in self-care, that doesn't mean you love yourself. That's something that I learned, I would say maybe within the last 5 years. Because there was a time in my life where I had a really like big corporate job and I would wear fancy suits all the time, fancy heels, and I would get my nails done, I would get my hair done, and I would afford the spa days. And everyone said, oh girl, you love yourself. And I thought I was loving myself too. But you mentioned something in self-love that I think people don't really consider. And one of those things is relationships. I was surrounded by not the best people. I was partaking, not in bad activities, but I was like putting food in my body that wasn't necessarily the best. I was drinking obviously more because I was going out more, partying more, and I realized that I was actually hurting myself. And when it really came down to like discovering self-love, it was when I said no a lot
Right.
more. Learning to say no was the
Yeah.
big piece. It's not something I still struggle with. So would you say that self-love has always and self-care has always been easy for you? And if not, like how did you, or if it was, like how did you go about that? Was there a particular moment in your life where you were like, I need to change something because I'm not loving myself adequately. Like I need to change the relationships that I'm having. I need to change my job. I need to like change the way I'm eating. I need to go into fitness because I'm not loving on myself. Was there a moment or was it a series of things?
Yes, it was a series of things, but in particular, my college experience. I had a professor who noticed I was in all these different extracurricular activities, but sometimes I wasn't making time for myself. And she would ask me, well, her name is Beth McCoy, what did you do for yourself today? And that is what really transformed my journey. We always get overwhelmed at times. Life comes at us fast. But what did I do for myself? And so that goes back to fitness.
Would you say sorry to interrupt, would you say you're someone who is like a massive giver? So why did your professor ask you that? Like, what did you do for yourself? Because you seem like someone who wants to give and wants to do. Obviously, you're in a service kind of environment.
Yes.
So in a wellness space, and that's what us wellness people do. We tend to serve our communities. So would you say, like, there's a reason that she said that to you? What was that reason?
Yes, the reason was because she saw that I was an overachiever and that I was doing all these activities but getting overwhelmed and stressed and dealing with the grief. She knows my story, and she would bring it back. What did you do for yourself today? And even that time in between school, that's when I started to go to the gym.
Okay.
And that would be my me time. And I noticed when you work out, you release endorphins, the dopamine, you feel better, and making that my me time really sparked my fitness journey.
So if there's someone at home watching right now who may be struggling with self-love, what advice would you give them to start their self-love journey? And like you said, like I think you mentioned, it doesn't always have to be a lavish trip somewhere or a spa vacation. Like, what are some realistic things people can do to start loving on themselves?
That's a great question, Mary. I would say get a piece of paper and a pen and create a gratitude list for yourself. What are you grateful for in this moment? It can be so simple. What brings you joy? Is it a warm bed that you woke up out of? A shower? What are you grateful for? And write it down, and why. And keep doing that every day. I would also write down, what do you appreciate about yourself? Because there has to be one thing. What is one thing that is going well for you in your life right now? And really amplify that. A lot of times we tend to focus on the lack and what's going wrong, which is normal, but also look at the abundance, what is going right, and that will help with self-love.
So I know I recently started this. Actually, I started this about 2 years ago. I started writing in like the one-line journal that they have, where every night where I just write something that I'm grateful for. And I like that book in particular because it had like a 5-year collection. So now I'm able, like I'm in year 3, I'm able to look back at my memories.
Yes.
But sometimes I actually saw an Oprah, obviously Queen Oprah. She has all the best wellness things in the world, right? She actually mentioned that sometimes putting things like in a jar, like, cause like looking at the book is one thing, but for some reason now I have a jar where I have a whole bunch of different colored Post-its.
Okay.
And they like have all the things that I've been grateful for since the beginning of 2018. So I think like that's the way I practice.
Yes,
so I remember I actually watched an interview that you had on I think it was Yahoo.
Yes.
And you were being interviewed, and a person asked you like about your fitness journey, and you mentioned that you weren't the stereotypical fitness instructor. And I thought about that. I'm like, what is she talking about? What's a stereotypical fitness instructor, and what exactly did you mean by that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think when we look at fitness, it looks like a certain size, a certain height, maybe even a certain skin color. And so with that, people have a vision of what it looks like. And myself and my co-instructor, Siobhan, we're 2 different body types, 2 different sizes. She's 5'9", very tall and lean. I'm shorter, curvier. But what I meant when I said that is, look at the root of the fitness instructor. They may not look at what you think it looks like. They may not have a 6-pack or an 8-pack or 2% body fat.
Right.
But allowing people to understand that health looks like different types of physical beings. What is your glucose? What is your blood pressure? How is your cholesterol? That all encompasses health as well.
I know that for a fact, like a lot of fitness instructors that like now that I'm thinking about it, most of my fitness instructors haven't looked like me.
Yes.
Now I'm thinking about it, especially because I like to do yoga, so I don't see a lot of yoga instructors that look like me. How important would you say it is for us, women of color, to step up into these fields and these spaces to have other women look at us?
It's definitely important. Representation does matter. We see that our clients, they're all different races, but especially Black women, when they come and they see us teaching 2 different body types, I'm darker skinned, it can empower our students too, make them feel related to, that also supported, because we're doing it to trap music. We're doing these moves that are grown through Black culture,
Right.
and it makes a lot of our students feel at home. It's for us, it's by us, we're here, we see you. I know that in different spaces, when I see someone who looks like me, it gives a certain type of
I can do this
feel.
too.
Right.
Right.
And we've had students come up to us and say, thank you for doing this. We feel supported. And so that's why we continue to do it.
Like, do you and your co-instructor travel to different places, and have you done anything in the Bronx?
Yeah. So Siobhan and I, we're from Jamaica, Queens, but we do teach. So we've had a Queens class. We also do classes for students who are in the Bronx. We're at the Bronx PAL. So a lot of our students, they come to the Manhattan course because they all work in Manhattan, a lot of them. But wherever someone needs us to do special events, whether it's for sororities, for schools, we are so open to doing that.
Got it. So you mentioned a lot about sororities and like different schools. So how important is it that you make an impact on the community? Like, how and why is it important?
It's important because fitness isn't always accessible for everyone. Not everyone can sign up for the gym. Some people tell me, I'm not a gym person. They like group classes. They enjoy being amongst friends.
I'm that person.
Yeah.
I definitely cannot. Like, I go on the treadmill. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm going to be on here for like 30 minutes. It'd be 5 minutes. I'm like, I got to go.
Right. So it's so important for us to offer it to different types of people. We work with groups who focus on plus size.
Okay.
Yeah, plus size women, the curve appeal. We've worked with the Girl Mob, who is a group that focuses on Black and brown women and really encouraging them. So it's so important to make it easily accessible.
And so recently I got to hang out with you at your Zen Day conference, which is a
Yes.
wellness conference. It was an amazing day. So before I show some footage of what we got to experience while hanging out with you, can you just give the viewers at home some details about exactly what Zen Day contained?
Sure. So Zen Day is the first of its kind. It's a wellness conference for women of color, by women of color. We had a wonderful time with different speakers that talked about spirituality. We had vendors for skincare, health, but also you got to pamper yourself. We had people who did, different practitioners who did massages, even eyebrows, acupuncture. So it was a half-day wellness conference of what we've been talking about, that's self-love, self-care, and really allowing women of color to embrace themselves and check in through this platform.
Zen Day took place on a rainy Saturday afternoon in the historic Weeksville Center. As soon as guests walk in, they are greeted by a long corridor of wellness and creative vendors. They had everything you could imagine, from kombucha, organic coconut water, crystal and sage vendors, organic skincare lines, as well as handmade vegan candles, locally brewed hibiscus tea as well. You name it, Zen Day had it. There was a room with dedicated and inspiring speakers, a room filled with pampering, whether you needed your eyebrows done or you needed some acupuncture to release all the tension. This room smelled like straight lavender oil, and it was a perfect escape from the busy streets. For those guests who wanted a bit of light stretching and a space to meditate, there was a room dedicated to yoga. But for those who like to release their stress with a bit more speed, the TrapAerobics room was the perfect room for them.
It's your girl Mary, and I am here with
Siobhan, aka Young Chavo.
And Fiona, aka Fee Stacks.
what made you guys even create Zen Day? Is it the multi hats that you guys wear, or is it women that were complaining to you? Like, what happened to make you go, you know what? We need a day to just focus on women, especially women of color, and focusing on ourselves.
Representation, it really matters, you know, Mary. And for so many wellness events, you don't see that representation. just knowing that you have a safe space, an open space with your sisters, people that look like you, where you feel embraced, where you feel seen and heard. And that was the main mission.
Yeah, and then also like Zendaya actually kind of got started with like me and my friends. We all like work these professional jobs, and we like to just sometimes get together and chill out and do normal stuff like go to the movies and turn our phones off. And so we were talking. Me and Fiona were talking about this. We've been thinking about this idea for a minute, and then we brought in Miriam, and then Zendaya turned into this half-day wellness conference for women of color.
Yeah. Right. I love the speaker that you already had. I think, what was her name? Angela?
Angela Wildflower.
Yes. She was so amazing. Like, her whole speech was all about just, you can exist just by being you. And, like, you being you is so important to the world. I think that's something I struggle with, like, trying to just acknowledge that just being is enough. So would you say one of your main missions today is being enough? And what are the other missions that you want people to walk away with? What's the intention of today?
Definitely knowing that you are enough and that you matter, because this is Mental Health Awareness Month, and if we aren't dealing with a mental illness, you may know somebody else who is. And so realizing that you're meant to be here, and in any affirmation, just taking a positive force on your life.
Yeah.
Gratitude especially.
Yeah, and it's a collective thing. So like we said in the beginning, our collective, intention is to rise together, to thrive together,
to heal together.
And to heal together.
Oh, I love that, to heal.
This is all about community.
Thank you so much for your work today, ladies.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, TrapAerobics.
Hail Mary.
I'm not gonna lie, I can't wait to go to another TrapAerobics class, because I need to go like when my body's healing, because I had a situation, but I'm feeling like, this is such an amazing day. Such an amazing day.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Fiona, welcome back.
Hey, thank you, Mary.
So I want to continue the conversation. So recently I got to hang out with you at your Zen Day. Like, what exactly brought you onto your entrepreneur journey?
Well, I've always been a go-getter. So when Siobhan started discussing with me, it was really something that was encouraging. And to think, here we are, two young Black women, how we can really create something that is our own. So I didn't really think of it as I want to be
an entrepreneur.
Yeah, a businesswoman, but there was a need. And so I decided to step up, especially with being a health educator and a coach. There's a need to connect with people and just helping to fill that void.
Got it. So I want to read you a brief statistic real quick. It says the number of businesses owned by African American women have grown 322% since 1997, making Black women the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs in the United States. And this is according to Fortune magazine.
That's awesome.
So you said it's based out of need, right? So what advice would you give to a budding entrepreneur, especially a Black woman coming into this business? Even though obviously the business is growing and there's more space for us, we're creating that space, but I still feel like we have some challenges that many other people may not experience.
Sure, that's a really great question. I would say believe in your brand. If you really do believe in what your service is, your purpose is, continue to go for it, because someone else may not believe in it, but you know the mission of your brand. Really remain steadfast in it. Look for different outlets that can help you to push it forward. Even turn to your networks, your friends that are with you to share the ideas. That's what happened with Siobhan and I. Go to that support system. All it takes is maybe one person. And if you can't find the one person, continue to network and really believe in it. I actually saw something where Rihanna, it was a post and it said, what if Rihanna said, oh, there's so many makeup brands.
Right.
I'm not going to do that. Everybody's doing makeup.
Fenty Beauty is the biggest thing that's hit the market,
Think
right?
of all
in a long
the skin
time.
tones that she
Came out with. Was it 40 Shades?
Right.
Okay.
At least that are acknowledged. There was a need there. So if you really do believe in your brand, go for it.
Got it. So I also, because you said a key word, a word that like I love,
Yeah.
purpose.
Yes.
So would you say fitness and this health space, because obviously not only you're a fitness instructor, but you're also a health educator, would you say health and fitness has always been your purpose? And what advice would you give to someone who's like, I don't know what my purpose is?
Right. So it's so funny. Feels like sometimes I have so many different purposes, but what's at the root is that connection to people and helping them move forward. So health and fitness, they are a journey where you're moving forward from where you are to where you want to be, but really acknowledging and appreciating that space. So when it comes to your purpose, I would say, when do you feel at ease? Get quiet and notice, what are you really longing for?
That's so true, because
Yeah.
I've always struggled with that. But I think what I
Same
confused
here. Yeah.
when I was younger, I used to think that my career had to be my purpose.
Right.
But I realized that my job is my job. But that doesn't necessarily mean that's my purpose. I feel like my purpose is connect people, because I feel like that's when I'm most at ease. Like, if you ever been to one of my events or
Yeah.
anything that I do, like I just had this natural ability to just connect people together or
That's
connect
true.
like information for people.
Yes.
And so yeah, I feel like that's my purpose. And to your point, that's exactly what I did. I was like, I just one day was praying. I was like, what is my purpose? And to your point, when I really started thinking about what gave me some ease, that's what gave me some ease. So I'm going to ask you just one more question. Why is it important for women, especially women of color, to put themselves and self-love in their forefront of everything they do?
It's important for us because I know firsthand a lot of us wear different roles, but we are stressed. Our mental health is at a toll. We think, I can do this, I can do that, I've got it all under control, but our blood pressure is high. We may be depressed or anxious, and we continue to pile everything onto us because we have it covered. We see it in the roles on TV. We see it even maybe with our moms or our aunts, how much they take on. And that's okay to take on things, but at what expense?
Right.
Yes. So that self-care, where you're doing things just for yourself, that self-love, where you're asking yourself, what do I need? What are my desires? Making sure you get it. That's important, because a lot of times our mental health is put on the back burner.
I know.
Our blood pressure is put on the back burner because we take on so much, especially as women of color.
Yeah.
And we're facing societal pressures. There's racism, there's prejudices, sexism.
Right. The double layer.
It's
So
a
racism
double
and
layer.
sexism, yes.
Right. And we do always move forward, but it can take a toll on us internally.
Right.
So that's why the self-love, the self-care is important, because we have to check in with ourselves.
So I just want to say thank you so much for doing the work that you were doing.
you.
Thank you for serving us in this way. Like I said, Zen Day was such an amazing event. I hope you do it again.
Yes, we're trying to do it again for next year. We're going to do it again.
Feel free to let the people know where can they find you, so whether it's social media handle or your website.
Sure. So if you want to follow up and stay tuned, it's Fiona, VEY. That's Instagram, and also grills with a Z and granola.com.
Okay, thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you, Mary. Thank you for having me.
And thank you to the viewers at home for hanging out and watching us. I hope to see you on the next episode of Healthy Living in the Bronx.